I'm Dr. Christine Whelan, a recent bride and relationship columnist. Brides, I get it. Let's get your questions answered.
I'm Father Eric Andrews, a Paulist priest who prefers funerals to weddings. Welcome to another webisode of The Princess, the Priest, and the War for the Perfect Wedding.
Welcome to a webisode of The Princess, the Priest, and the War for the Perfect Wedding. I'm Dr. Christine Whelan. I am a recent bride. I am the author of the Pure Sex, Pure Love, Busted Halo column about dating and relationships. And I've got a PhD in social history. So what that means is that I spent a lot of time studying weddings and relationships. And I've interviewed a lot of people about their challenges. And you know what? There's a real cultural war going on. We have this multi-billion-dollar wedding industry that is telling us that we have to have a certain kind of wedding, that brides have to have a certain expensive kind of dress and a certain runner down the aisle. But then we have the Catholic Church that's saying that marriage is a sacrament and that it has to be done within a community. So these two things kind of conflict. So we've got the bride, me, who's got all these ideas of her perfect wedding. Then we've got Father Eric, who says that he's willing to do dozens of funerals before he has to go near one alive bride. So Father Eric, what's the deal? Why do you like dead people as opposed to brides, huh?
Well, dead people don't ask a whole lot of questions of me before the wedding, before the funeral. And the people who are coming as guests, they just want to be consoled, and anything I tell them that we're going to do, they're happy to do. Brides, grooms, mother-in-laws, they all have hundreds of questions. And I just feel like I'm on this conveyor belt of the wedding production, and I'm just a paid employee. And weddings are a very sacred moment, very important for the life of the couple and the life of the church. And when I try to bring a little reality into it, they look at me like I'm a monster. So sure, funerals, bring them on.
But weddings are it's the princess day for the bride, right? I mean, this is the day that we've been looking forward to for maybe decades. When I was 4 years old, my mom put me at the front of the aisle and said, you know, Mommy and Daddy were married here, Grandma and Grandpa were married here. Do you want to be married here in this church? You know, so I had these dreams of what my wedding was going to be like from a very young age. And then all of a sudden I get a priest like you, Father Eric, who, you know, apparently wants me dead.
Oh my gosh. Well, I've done a number of wonderful weddings of parishioners who I've known for many years, and it's been a terrific experience, but it's also been balanced by a whole lot of bride and grooms who are just shopping for the perfect place and the perfect priest and the perfect this, that, or the other thing. And the more perfect their wedding day is, I always worry that it's probably they're going to be the worst possible marriage going forward, because they're putting all of their eggs in that basket of the perfect day and not even looking at the rest of their lives together.
This is good advice. So there's all sorts of advice that Father Eric is going to offer, and brides and grooms. I'm going to be here to represent your side of the story. Send in your emails or your video iChats and ask us questions. Tell what are you worried about? What are you concerned about? What questions do you want us to answer? We're going to talk about nasty priests. We're going to talk about sex. We're going to talk about how weird it is to talk about sex with a priest. What else are we going to talk about, Father Eric?
We're going to talk about how come you can't get married out on the beach. How come you have to get an annulment. How come you have to do pre-Cana. All of these things. We're gonna answer your questions. It's everything you want to know about your marriage, but we're afraid to ask. We're ready. Bring it on.
So send us your questions, weddings@bustedhalo.com, and we look forward to hearing from you and to tackling your questions.